What's going on, guys? Fun with Knives back again. Got a knife review for you today of the Kershaw Strobe. I was really excited to get this knife. I was looking at it for a long time and I've been using it pretty readily and I'm not impressed. It's not a bad knife, but I'm not impressed and I'll tell you why. First, here come the specs. 3.3 inch blade, 4.25 inch handle, making your overall length 7.55 inches. Good size for EDC. Your blade thickness here is 0.12, fairly standard from Kershaw at least. Your handle thickness is a 0.61 inches, really stocky, thick handle. And yes, I did sand these scales down. They were K textured, glass filled nylon, and it's the same texture on the Kershaw Shuffle if you're familiar with that. And then I distressed the clip a little bit just with some sandpaper, make it a little bit more worn and cool looking. So the knife does not come like that, but I like it a little bit more now. Now, the weight on this thing is 4.37 ounces, which in all honesty is a little bit heavier than it should be. It's not overly heavy where I just refuse to put this thing in my pocket, but for its size, it's just a little bit much, for its capability as well. Now, your blade shape here is kind of a modified clip point. Really upswept blade here, nice belly to it, flat ground. See Kershaw logo there, give you a close-up. Look at these burrs right here too. Light cutting gave this steel some burrs because it's HCR 13 MOV. Not the best steel in the world, but adequate for this price range. Model number 1086, and this is a Diskin design, and yes, it is a Chinese-made Kershaw. Now, this flat ground blade is a good slicer. I mean, it's got good blade stock. It's been performing pretty well for me other than these nicks and burrs. You got a small swedge taken out on top for just looks. There's no functionality behind that. But overall, the blade shape is good. The stonewash is nice and heavy. It looks awesome. And that's kind of where the good stops. Because the KVT ball bearing system on this knife, there's the caged ball bearings and a washer, is good. The action is really nice. Blade is centered up perfect. But your lockup, there's some side-to-side play. You can almost hear it. So that's something that bugged me a little bit. This is essentially a frame lock with kind of a floating scale. Steel handle with these glass-filled nylon scales on top of it. The action is good, guys, I'll be honest. The detent is a little bit too strong, though. You gotta give this some force to get it out and deployed, but nothing really to complain about. Your scales, like I said, had that K texturing, smooth them out. I like it a lot more. Your stainless steel frame has got the same stonewash on it. The lock bar is pretty thick, which is good. I mean, I think this thing is going to support some weight if I had to do some hard cutting, but like I said, the lockup just isn't as it should be. They gave you some jimping on there to disengage the lock. Give you some more close-ups of the handle here. Kind of an interesting backspacer here, partially open construction. It's got some scalloping to it. Gives you a little bit of grip in hand because that's kind of pressing into your palm. The whole knife has got a kind of a rounded structure where the belly of your blade is pointing at what you're cutting, rather than it just being straight out this way and you having to turn your hand up more and more as you use it. So that's a cool element. Something that a lot of guys are going to be either fond of or just hate is the thinness of the handle. The handle in this dimension, I mean, is very thin, and then it's a thick, kind of rounded handle scales on this, making this feel like you're holding a pencil. It's thin this way, but thick this way, and it almost feels like a cylinder. It's a little bit weird in hand. It's comfortable for, I would say, extended use, but for in your pocket for an EDC knife, which I definitely think this is, I just think it was a poor choice for handle scales. And I did take them off. You can definitely use the knife without them, but your clip will float off a little bit because it's touching the handle scale. So if you take this scale off, then you have some space in between your clip. Now, the clip was one of the main reasons I was excited to get this knife because it was a deep carry clip. You can see almost nothing's going to be shown out of your pocket. And it carries pretty well as far as the clip goes, but this portion right here, where it up swoops, it helps you get the knife in and out of your pocket really easily, but this catches on everything. This is just too high out of there. It's sharp in the hand a little bit. It's not bad, but it's somewhat of a hot spot. And this thing is going to scratch up your car, any furniture you're around, anything. It caught on my keys. I mean, this thing is just a little bit ridiculous. what else about this blade? External stop pin, you can see there. And that's really about it, guys. So Kershaw, in my opinion, has kind of dominated this area of the knife world for quite a while now, where if I can get this on top of the box here, they're $20 to $30 or $20 to $35 knives are really popular, and I thought this was going to be one of those knives. Now, is it a bad knife? No, it's got a lot of good things going for it, like the deployment, the blade shape, the grind. I think the stonewash is really cool, but there's too much bad for me to recommend it. The rounded nature of the handle, the thickness of the handle, the questionable lockup, the kind of badly designed pocket clip. No, I don't recommend it. Now, if you like budget flippers, especially budget ball bearing flippers, you might enjoy this one because this is a fun knife just to play around with. You can see that detent is so strong that if you drop it, it just wants to fly right back open. It's not even past the detent ball yet. But as a budget flipper, the action is pretty good. Now, are there better options in this price range of 30, $25, $30, $35? Absolutely. One from Kershaw comes to mind, the CQC 4K. Great all-around knife. It's a great beater. It's a good self-defense knife if you wanted something like that. And I highly recommend this knife over this knife. Now, obviously, they're not the same kind, but the Strobe has just let me down a little bit. So, thanks, guys, for watching, and make sure to have fun with your knives.